Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I will start this video by making a statement that I think is by default, which is all governments lie. Everybody lies. Well, we have a problem when people lie and then they say they are perfect or they are exceptional. Now, you can be exceptional and sometimes lie. It's the case of the United States of America and the guys in charge of the United States of America. They consistently lied. The problem is certain lies, the outcome of certain lies, the consequences are small, not big consequences. Sometimes almost nothing happens. But sometimes the consequences are horrible, are big, are great, are I was about to say fantastic, are huge negative consequences. And that is according to the might, the power of the country, in this case, that lies. So for instance, when the United States of America, when I'm talking about the United States of America, you have to understand I'm talking about the government in its institutions. But the institutions and the government is formed by American citizens, by people. That's why it's easy to understand what the government will do. If you look in the past, you memorize, you create a pattern, and under the same circumstances, people will react the same way if they have the same ideology, position, and so on. So if you remember the Gulf of Tonkin, that's how the Americans justified the flattening of Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia. There was a lie, big lie with big consequences on all sides, including the Americans, obviously. Some people make big profits. That was probably one of the goals. So this is one example. Now, if I say tomorrow is going to be, 5 degrees Celsius or Fahrenheit, what are going to be the consequences? Maybe on myself, if I decide to go outside, that's it. Negative consequences because it's going to be probably 90 or whatever, 35 degrees Celsius, 90, I'm guessing Fahrenheit, and I go prepared for 5 degrees. Small consequence. So what's going on here? Trump claimed that the goal in Iran is to remove Iran's military, not civilian or peaceful, military program to be able to create a nuclear weapon. And according to people who have a crystal ball, once Iran acquires that, it's going to destroy all of us. Other countries have it, but they don't. Remember, the United States of America is the only country so far who ever used an atomic bomb. Not nuclear weapon. Okay, atomic. So what do we have here? You can say, well, it's the same thing. Well, it's not really the same thing. It's fission over fusion, if I remember correctly. Nevertheless, I don't want to play smart here. So what's going on? Trump said is no regime change. It's always been a regime change. Always been. For the benefit of one entity, and that is not the United States of America. Maybe on the 5th, 6th, 7th place is the United States of America. The first place, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th place is only one country's benefit. And they're going to have us, the American people, not the government, pick up their hot potatoes in the Middle East. So Trump lied, obviously, and he said the regime change is not. We just want to pump 3 times. I'm going to penetrate you, baby. I don't want to. It's okay. It's for the benefit of all of us. Because if I don't get laid, I will smack everybody around. So you are the victim that you're going to scratch me in self-defense. But I'm going to promise you I'm going to pump only 3 times. Without pumping and dumping. Just pumping, okay? And she said, nah. Okay. And the guy does it 3 times. And while he is at it, says, no, I guess I'm going to go all the way. So this is the United States of America. A rapist who's going to go and pump and dump. Not only penetrate, violate international law and aggress another country, but go all the way. According to what kind of laws? Self-defense. We all can claim self-defense on our delusions. So that's the first topic. Then I'm going to show you, if you think the United States of America is the country of peace, I'm going to show you how it vetoed a ceasefire resolution somewhere in the Middle East as well, where one country massacres some people. Illegally, mind you. Then we're going to discuss some jackal states, some vassal states, plantation, like Germany, Ukraine, Australia, for instance, countries that support the bombardment of Iran, illegal aggression. And then we're going to see Russia's reaction. And guess what? We lived through another weapons of mass destruction lie that we were under Bush for 8 years, if you remember. For the younger generations, and I don't know if it's here or people who might not know what happened, I will explain when I'm going to go to the article, and I'm going to discuss what happened with the weapons of mass destruction with George W. Bush, that illiterate guy, not illiterate, baboon guy, who attended Yale and Harvard, Ivy League schools. Therefore, when someone says, I graduated Harvard, open your mouth. I want to hear how you think. Not what you know, how you think. That's more important than how much you know. Okay, so here we have that, the Russians' reaction. And then we're going to find out something else, my friends. The Iranian foreign minister makes a statement that I think fits the United States of America's behavior. And that fits the behavior of a bully, of a thug, of a drunken guy with a shotgun in a parking lot, with the biggest shotgun. All right, so let's start with the first article. This comes from Associated Press. Associated Press from the June 23rd, 2025. Live updates. Trump is open to regime change in Iran. Now. Follow the latest President Donald Trump on Sunday called into question the future of Iran's ruling theocracy, after a surprise attack on 3 of the country's nuclear sites, contradicting his administration's earlier calls for resume negotiations and avoid an escalation in fighting. And I'm quoting, it's not politically correct to use the term regime change, but if the current Iranian regime is unable to make Iran great again, why wouldn't there be a regime change? Trump posted on social media, MIGA. So, if that's the case, when we had for 4 years Biden, who was probably, according to Donald Trump, incapable, the same logic, incapable of making America great again. I guarantee you Trump said Biden does not make America great again, only I can make America great again. Therefore, he was entitled, according to this rule, to maybe use the Chinese to overthrow the US government. Since he was not making America great again, then, according to Trump, it's perfectly legal to overthrow a government with outside help. Now, sometimes I wonder how this guy made his money. But I don't think you have to be sophisticated to be a thug. And some instincts, but those instincts get you as far as they get you. As I spoke with a very wealthy person at one point, and he was in charge of a business, and I asked him about, these guys in charge and how they make money and so on. And he said that beyond a certain kind of level, you need more than just being a thug. But Trump contradicts that, I think. Let me fix this thing here. Is it better? For me, at least. I want to be in Miami Sunday. Okay, so that's one. Let's go to the second one. Second article. Associated Press. Trump is open to regime change in Iran after his administration said that wasn't the goal. Now gets to me. I often say and mention the mountain slope model, or if you want, or whatever the reality, which is they're going to start slower and they're going to get, the decision has been made a long time ago, more than before 2000. Whatever for the American century, remember, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that was done, written by some neocons a long time ago, destroying Middle East for the benefit of one country. And they started obviously with Iraq, then I went to Afghanistan, Syria. They tried, now Iran is the last one. It's clear over there. So, they start slow and they go, like I'm going to pound probably 3 times and I go, bye-bye. Actually, I wanted to real hard at the end. So the same here. I know that. Why? They are humans They did it before, not a long time ago. Not a long time ago. 3 other administrations back. So Biden, Trump, Obama, boom, you got George W. Bush, who invaded, bombarded 2 countries on a lie, which was Iraq has weapons of mass destruction. They started first, they were behind the September 11. Oh, that's not, okay. They trained the GOs, the terrorists of September 11. No, they didn't, okay. They have weapons of mass destruction, that's it. And they have, how do you call it, mobile chemical weapons, okay, labs. They're moving all over the place. They didn't. They attacked, they bombarded, they regime changed, and then they say, well, we didn't find anything, it's okay, we brought democracy and freedom. Is that how things work? If you think that's the way it works, I hope your neighbor thinks the same way and does the same thing to you. And he's going to come and fuck you up and say, well, we didn't find what we thought, but while we are at it, how about we take over your house? All right, so that's one. That's a mountain slope, little by little. The decision has been made. And because of that, we, as I said before, our liberties will be infringed. And people like who would not go along with the narrative imposed by the same guys will have some problems, probably, like they had then. And with the COVID. Terrorism Advisory Bulletin warns of heightened threat environment in the US. So this is, some criminals are starting a war somewhere, and the consequences will boomerang into us, the citizens, not the criminals. The criminals will be just fine. We pay for their protection. You understand? So they start something for someone else, that's treason right there, for other countries' interests. We pay for their protection, and those guys will retaliate against us, the citizens. And then they, with their media, will tell us that, see, we told you all along these guys are bad. Oh, really? Did they come here or did we go there? There's the same thing with Ukraine. Clearly, Russia attacked NATO or went towards NATO in the west, or NATO came towards Russia in the east. Let's start with that one, and then who's right and who's wrong. So again, ready? Now we're going to have the same colors of heightened terrorists, the same scare tactic for the majority of the American population and any other population, any other. We're human beings. And they will scare you the same they did in Bush's time. It's orange alert, it's amber alert, it's cum alert, whatever they will do it, and people will be, where's my mask? Oh, I'm safe now. Thank God, Dr. Fauci. They are, as Albert Einstein allegedly said, more than 99.9% of the human race could live just fine without a brain. All it needs is a backbone, just instincts. All right, let's move on. So yeah, get ready for another mass media, so-called, the operatives scare tactics. Next one, let's go. Draft UN Security Council resolution condemns US for attack on Iran. All right, draft is gonna be defeated. Why? Because the United States of America will veto it, as it vetoed United Nations Security Council draft resolution calling for Gaza ceasefire. So this was on the 5th, this is American, on the 5th of, or the other way around, I know these are Russians, so they are normal. So that probably is 5 of June. All right, so the United States of America vetoed the same entity for which now we're supposed to get a boomerang in our back of the head. Got it? But we are the country of peace and good and so on. And that, remember, at this video, I will disclose what the Iranian foreign minister, bad dude, not unlike us, exceptional, is gonna characterize the Americans as something. American leadership, let's put it this way. Next one. Supposedly we got some good guys. Vance opposes U.S. involvement in Iran-Israel war. Reuters. The American vice president does not want the Israelis dragging Washington into another conflict, the agency has cited sources as saying. This guy right here. If you watch my video with the president's address to the nation, that garbage statements and it was just toddler level. That's what you do. Trump, the leaders, when they come in front of the TV, They do not address people like you or I, smart people, geniuses. No. They don't have to convince you. They know they lost you. They never had us. Or maybe they had us, and then we figured out very quickly who they are. We dump them and say, no, that's their guy. Trump is not our president. It's those guys' guy. That's it. But there are some people that you have to wrap your message according to the audience. You don't need to convince all in a society. You need to convince 30 to 40%. That's it. And it's very easy because about 90% of the population are cowards. It's easy. You scare them. Oh, who's going to protect me? I have my friends. Thank God. Or the government. One of the two. Either the mommy and daddy, which when you grow as an adult becomes trap, and the government. These are, because they can't stand on their own feet, say, fuck it, I'm going to make my destiny with what I know and what I fucking care with my balls. No, please help me fulfill, give me the strength. Practice for your fucking strength. No. Without that strength, I can't do it. There you have it. Anyway, but they are among us. Lots of them. It's fine. That means we should win. But we don't. Why? Because we have democracy. And in democracy, they can vote us. That's why you don't need more than 40% of baboons to be. So that's why you have this good cop, bad cop. I guarantee you, Vance, when he was selected by the guys to be Trump's vice president, he was vetted. They know more than Vance knows about himself. I guarantee you that. It's just bad cop, good cop. When they're going to be negotiating something, they're going to send Vance. Like right now you have in Russia, you have Mr. Medvedev. Medvedev is the bad guy, whereas the other guys are the good guys. That's how you do it. It's ABC 1, 2, 3, which the baboons are eating fleas from one another. That's what they do. So he doesn't want that. You can't. What do you think? They're going to stay in front of Trump? Trump is as he is. I said, I don't know, man. I don't even know how. What does he know? Really? This guy is just. You can't. And he's your boss. Horrible boss, like the movie. All right, let's look at the weasels. Let's look at the slaves on the plantation and at the vassal states. Right there. Germany's Pistorius. This is the defense minister of Germany who wants to bomb everybody with someone else's lives. All right. So removing Iran threat is good news for Europe. So Iran already, you see, in this title, this guy already includes this as a fact. It's like already took it. It's established that there's a threat. It's just there's no more discussion about the A, B, C. We just got to V right now. Okay, to V. What can you do? Anyway, that's the way it is. They go very fast from establishing a truth, very fast, and then they move and they use that most likely or could be or might as a fact, and then they build. What's up, meow meow? Did you bring a toy for me? Thank you very much, my cat. Oh, meow meow. What was that? What's wrong, meow meow? What's wrong? Well, stay there. Okay, thank you, meow meow. Anyway, so that's how they do. They come with information that is most likely, could be a report, maybe, and then after 2-3 days, they use those without using the may. So Gigi could have fucked the neighbor. Gigi is maybe a thief. Possibly Gigi went to the moon, and so on. And then in 2 days, they're going to say, when Gigi went to the moon, and Gigi did that, and Gigi... But no, that was not established. They reach a conclusion based on... How should I put it? Almost there. Not proven, almost likely. You can go with likely. He likely committed the crime. We're going to put him in jail. No, it doesn't work that way. Beyond any reasonable doubt. All right, 99%. So again, this guy who promotes war, and now they switch. Removing Iran threat is the good news. How about, let's say, another country thinks that removing Germany's threat is a good thing. Should they act upon that thing? And remember, in this, I looked hard to find what, let's say, Bangladesh has to say about Iran. I think, let's not Bangladesh, let's put a closer. But Bangladesh is a good one. Bangladesh, or let's say Nepal. talks about Iran, but Germany talks about Iran. Why only Germany? You're going to find only a few countries very much promoted with their opinions, assessment. Where is the rest of the world? If Iran is a threat to the world, why don't we hear from Honduras? Madagascar, let's put it this way. Madagascar. Send them there? No. They wanted that, only that. You remember the Madagascar plan? Okay, now. All right, so why don't we hear about everybody else? Because this is intended to shape an opinion, to manufacture a truth. That's what it is. So it's a good thing. Why? Because it's a threat. It's established already. No, it's not established. I'm not convinced whatsoever. I think Germany is more of a threat than Iran. Why? Germany is a vassal state under US occupation with troops and nuclear weapons. US's nuclear weapons in Germany, not Germany's nuclear weapons. You're a threat. You are a weakling. And you can do whatever you want with a weakling. That's dangerous. You can be used like a whore without even paying the whore. That's the problem with Germany. At least with Iran, if it's a whore, you have to pay. These guys are for nothing. Let's go, baby doll. But Stu used bucket, dropped on the floor, rolling behind her as she walked, and dripping acid out of the... All right, so what do we have? We have another vassal state right here. New Voice of Ukraine. Ukraine supports U.S. strikes on Iranian nuclear facilities. So how can you support that when you're bombed by the Russians? And under what kind of reason do you support the strikes? To remove the threat. So the Russians then, when they bomb you to remove the NATO threat, is that acceptable? And remember, in charge of Ukraine is a Jewish guy who bombards Iran right now, America, and the guys in where? It's just a coincidence, I guarantee you that. Show me a Romanian. A Hungarian? No, they don't bomb shit. But these guys are better than us somehow. Again, next one. We're going to show you another vassal state who gets inserted in the equation. Australia supports US strikes on Iran. Have you looked over the map to see where Australia is? Why do we even care, DPA International, about what Australia has to say? Foreign Minister Wong say, okay, so Arrow. So what the hell? If support, he's on the other. So the logic is like, if it's a threat, why not Brazil? I want to hear Brazil, what Brazil has to say about this one. Or North Korea, why not? Is as far as to Iran as Australia, where only Australia, Germany, Ukraine are the ones that are concerned and promoted their opinion. 3 countries. The plantation is no more than 50 countries. Al Capone and his plantation. NATO, the European Union, and extra baboons like Australia, New Zealand, Japan, South Korea, Palau, Zapalau, and other Labalau. All right, let's see what the Russians are saying. I think they're right on it. Russia Today. Moscow blasts U.S. redo of Iraq weapons of mass destruction stunt. Washington has opened a Pandora box by attacking Iran. Well, Iran is not Iraq because it has bigger potential. Russian ambassador told the United Nations Security Council. All right, what does it mean? For younger generation who don't know what this guy was talking about, September 11, probably you heard about it, were some guys hitting who did it? They said it immediately. George W. Bush, as I said, was told in the ear that Iran did it. Saddam did it. Saddam. Let's attack Saddam. Or I think it came from him, from home, from his daddy, his unfinished business. And then he said, well, let's attack Iran, Iraq. And they said he attacked us. No, he didn't. Okay, fuck. What happened next? Oh, they have weapons of mass destructions. They traded terrorists. Everything was a lie, and they attacked. The same thing here, and the same thing with the color code. It's gonna be yellow alert. Oh, I'm gonna go MP. The government tells you it's gonna be this. Oh, I gotta do this. That's why I don't like the Father Day, the Mother Day, the President's Day, the Beach Day. This. It's just a means for these guys to regiment your brain and to consume. That's what it is. I don't celebrate this garbage. I celebrate just a few things, but not like that. That's why you have all these celebrations and holidays and you go and spend for what? Day regiment. Like you have the, what's that called? When you bring the Valentine. Do you have to have a Valentine? Valentine's Day should be every day if you love. If you don't love, fuck off. Only then. And then everybody goes and, where's my diamond? Spread your legs, baby doll. Oh, here it is. Oh, this. Do you need that? Why? The government dictates when we have the Valentine's. No, actually, Emil, we said we agree with that. So we narrow it down to one day in a whole year. That's insulting. So, my friends, that's the way it was. These guys come back with the same narrative, and these imbeciles will gulp it. Not all of them. Not all of them. And let's go now to the characterization that Iran's foreign minister made of the US. I think it's 100% accurate. DPA International. Iranian foreign minister. United States only understands language of violence. This guy. I think he's spot on. I'm sorry to say that, but that's reality. As I say, these guys they emptied their diplomatic or toolbox, leaving in only 4 tools. Threats, blackmail, regime change, and attacks. That's all America has right now. Why? Because it was not smacked in the nose. Like a bully. If a bully is not countered, he's going to continue being a bully. The bully understands only being punched in the face. That's for everybody. For the Russian bully, for the Israeli bully, for the American bully, for the Romanian bully, for whomever, for everybody. We are human beings. We react in the same way, my friends. Pain and pleasure. That's what it is, my friends. So it's true. In United States of America show these limitations in Ukraine, for instance. The problem is it was not smacked. I don't want United States of America to be smacked. I want America to be better. At least come back to where it was and take another route. But in order to do that, you have to round up a lot of people. You know what I mean? So you can't do that. They're in charge. They're everywhere. You can find them. You can identify them. They write the news for you. They make movies for you. They even make politics for you. They are the advisors. They are senators. They're everywhere, my friends, in high positions. And if you say it's a coincidence, I want you to show me the same proportionality in Romanians in America. I don't know, let's say Hungarians or Bulgarians. You will not find it. You will not. Or let's say Koreans. You will not find it. Why is that? You can't say they're better because we're getting some political incorrectness here, okay? They can be better. But we're going to go to Henry Ford the First. Henry Ford, I love him very much, but they hate him. Why? Because he sniffed them. He smelled them. He said, they're not better than anybody else. They're as everybody else, the group. The problem is, he said, if you make sure that they follow the rules as everybody else and they don't cut the line and do this hanky-panky, the outcome will be the same as everybody else's. But they're not. That's one. I don't have to go to a friend of mine, not a friend of mine, but nevertheless, The Culture of Critique. Go and read that book. Mr. Kevin McDonald's, PhD. I know, he's a bad dude. Go and read it. That tells you nicely, that's a starting point. I'm not going to send you to Dr. William and others who are going to give you further than that. But go and see. They are... Alright, nevertheless, the bully boy understands only the language of violence. Who's going to smack them? You can counter them. You can, get a bloody nose from... nobody can stand in front of the US. But you can counter it. You have the same weapon. So they have nuclear weapons. Many other countries have nuclear weapons. It is true that probably if Pakistan wants to fight with United States of America, will lose. Why? Pakistan cannot really hit United States of America. United States of America can hit them very clearly. I don't know if Pakistan has, like 20 submarines, nuclear submarines, when like 3,000 warheads ready and go around the United States of America and flatten it. I don't think so. But the US can do this to Pakistan. That's what I'm saying. But Russia can fuck them up. China can do that. And Russia doesn't even have to launch its missiles to United States of America. They just stay and say, right here, let me see. Right there, shoot me. They have a self-destruction protocol, in which if we cannot hit you, and we're losing, we detonate everything. And everything collapses. And then you know who comes? God. And everybody's happy. Meet God early. Thank you very much. Early Christmas. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.